Welcome back, everybody. We're going to be completing velocity graphs practice number 4. Here we have two sets of motion. We're going to find the velocity for the first segment, which we'll call V1, and then the velocity for the second segment, which we'll call V2. And so you'll notice that there are two different slopes, and so we'll need to do the math to figure out what the slope is. So for V1, if you remember, we're just going to do position minus position over time minus time. And so we'll pick 1 meter minus 6 meters over 15 seconds minus 0 seconds, since these are the 2 points we've picked. And this should be equal to negative 5 meters over 15 seconds, which should equal negative 1/3 meters per second. But I forgot my negative sign, so don't forget yours, which is going to equal 0.3 repeating meters per second. And once again, don't forget your negative sign. Now we're going to find the slope for the second velocity, which is we're going to pick 2 meters, since that's the last position, minus 1 meter, which is the first position for this segment, over 30 seconds, which is the final time, minus the time for this segment, which was 15 seconds. So 30 minus 15. And we're going to get 2 minus 1 is going to be 1 meter over 30 minus 15, which is 15. And 1 over 15, don't try to do this in your head, and you have to get it down to its decimal form. So make sure you just divide on your calculator. And, it's absolutely perfectly fine to use your calculator. That's what they're here for. So 1 divided by 15 is going to give us 0.06 repeating, but I'm going to round it up to 0.07 and meters per second. Okay, so make sure you get your units right. Also, that missing negative sign is bugging me, but we'll move on to the velocity time graph. Make sure to label your times to match the position time graph. So here I'm going to go by 5s because on the position time graph I'm going by 5s. On the y-axis, since I never really go past 1, I'm going to go ahead and go with 1 because I can probably go by thirds much easier. So you see here that I'm going by thirds. Now I have 0.3 meters per second, so I'm going to think about where am I going to put this, right? So I have 1/3 meters per second. Then I should probably graph it on the 1/3 meters per second. And so I'm going to go ahead and graph it here from 0 to 15 seconds. But then I realized, oh, it's a negative slope. Let me redo this. So let me erase it and put it where it's supposed to be, which is negative 1/3 from 0 to 15 seconds. And let me finally put it into my equation here. And now for the second segment, I have it at positive 0.07 meters per second. So I'm going to go ahead and graph it starting from 15, not 20. So 15 to 30 seconds, it's going at 0.07 meters per second.